All right, Seton, poll question for hour one is going to be what?
Well, I've got something that could be considered a sign of the apocalypse or just very bad news for two people here.
Okay.
Paul and Todd have both submitted the same poll question.
Ooh, man. What happened to Paul?
I know, right. Is Todd coming up or is Paul going down? I can't really tell.
All
That'd be
right.
Paul going down.
Yeah.
What's the possibility of both questions being good?
That's for you to decide, Dan.
All righty.
The NBA Finals was memorable for ... Well, let's see. Paul's options were the first title of this young OKC team,
All right.
SGA cementing himself as a superstar, Pacers fight, Haliburton's injury, or nothing.
Or nothing.
Yes. Todd's suggestions were the Oklahoma City winning their first ever title, SGA being named the MVP, Haliburton's injury, or Kevin Durant getting traded from the Suns to the Rockets.
With no local ties, I would say Tyrese Haliburton's injury. I think his playoff performance leading into the NBA Finals, and he gave them hope. SGA was, brilliant. And he also had a Game 7 that we haven't had in a long time. 29 and 12 assists. First player to reach those numbers in Game 7 of an NBA Finals. You have to go back to 1970 when Walt Frazier went for 36 and 19. I just think the injury with Haliburton, because of all the big shots that he had leading into the finals, that he gave them hope, and hope went down and didn't get back up last night. So I would say in 10 years from now, let's put it that way. How about we put a window on this? 10 years from now, when we look back on this year's NBA Finals, it's probably going to be Tyrese Haliburton. We'll remember because of the injury, how they had played. They forced a Game 7. OKC was the best team. But I think what the Pacers did created more headline conversation than what Oklahoma City did. Yes, Eden.
I think how we remember this finals is dependent on how both of these teams do the next 3 years. If we go right back to after this year, if next year we go back to some sort of like return cycle of, Warriors, Lakers, Celtics, whoever win, then I don't know what we're going to really remember from this one. But if the Pacers go on to be great or the Thunder go on to keep being great, it's going to shape how this one is remembered.
But also keep in mind, Tyrese Haliburton will probably be out all next year. So, his impact is going to be felt next year because he won't be able to play. Jason Tatum, not able to play for the Celtics next year. Probably not. So factor those in and how that shapes the East. Because the East is really, really wide open now. And we don't even know if Giannis is going to stay in Milwaukee. Like all of a sudden, Orlando, the Cavaliers, obviously, Garland's having toe surgery, but they would be the favorites. The Knicks, once again, would be in the conversation there. But if you don't have Tatum and you don't have Haliburton, and those are the best players on the best teams right now, East is wide open. That's where Giannis might go, maybe, can you help me out a little bit here? Can you give me something here in Milwaukee? But we'll talk to Chris Mannix about this because I think Mannix gets the feeling that Giannis, if he's going anywhere, would end up in San Antonio. I brought up this calf issue thing because Dame Lillard and Jason Tatum both told Gilbert Arenas that they had calf injuries before they tore their Achilles. And that's what happened with Tyrese Haliburton. And that's why I wondered, can you put him out there? I know he wants to be out there. But he has to know that there is a risk that you're going to tear your Achilles. Tatum and Dame Lillard both had calf injuries, and then they tore their Achilles. And that's what happened with Tyrese Haliburton. Also, don't wear the number 0. Dame Lillard, 0. Jason Tatum, 0. Tyrese Haliburton, 0. Yikes. Who else is wearing 0? We got to give them a heads up.
Christian Brown, be careful.
Oh. Well, okay. If he wears 0, sure. All righty. So the poll question, what are we going to remember? Seton, any other poll question for the first hour of the program?
Yeah, we got one more here for you.
Okay.
Bigger mistake, trading SGA, trading the Sonics.
Well, that owner wanted to move them to OKC.
Yeah.
So I get that. But you go back to when Shai Gilgeous was traded. Now, Sam Presti, Oklahoma City GM, insisted that SGA was going to be in the deal. And I think the Clippers were trying to hold on to him. He finished 6th in the Rookie of the Year ballot, and he averaged only 12 points a game. Anybody who said, boy, I saw this, I think you might be lying, because that felt like, all right, you take Paul George, take his contract. What are you going to give us in return? And they had accumulated so many draft picks there in Oklahoma City. And all of a sudden, I watched Shai Gilgeous at Kentucky. I can't tell you I remember one play that he had. Kind of like the way he plays now, where you go, all right, the guy can score. I mean, he was just another Kentucky player. All right, he can score. Okay, get to the hoop. Oh, I didn't think, oh my God, that guy's he's going to do something that is in rarefied air with Kareem and Shaq and Michael Jordan. Imagine you're on that list, and he did it. I don't think anybody saw that coming, that he would be this great. But this has been a process, like 5-6 years to get to this point. Remember Chet Holmgren, as soon as they got him, he got hurt in that summer All-Star game that he was playing in. He's had a hip injury. He's obviously injury prone here. But you're getting guys and you're going, okay, nobody wants Alex Caruso. We'll take him. Lou Dort. Who? Jalen Williams. Who? I mean, come on. Guy went to Santa Clara. That's where you look at scouting. That's where you look at what you do down in the lab. And that's what OKC has done a wonderful job. And it starts with Sam Presti. I think he took over. He was 28 years of age when he was a GM. And now, what is he, 47? Still young for that job. But, this is why when we talk about the Lakers, that you get new ownership. Now, you can't go out and just buy whoever you want, but they're going to help the infrastructure of the Lakers. Scouting. I mean, that's where you beef up. And, that's what OKC has done. It did a wonderful job and should be commended for finding those players who do fit in. Now, the key for OKC as we move forward is Shai Gilgeous is probably going to get a contract that's going to pay him $80 million a year. Just start there. Now, is Chet Holmgren going to take less? Is Jalen Williams is anybody taking less to stay together to win a championship? As a former NBA champion once told me, once I got my ring, I wanted my money. That's what happens. I got my ring. Now I want my money. Look at what happened with the Nuggets. Those guys, bench players, they got their ring, then they wanted their money. It's a natural evolution. When you're trying to keep these teams together, that's what you have to have in place. Is there a commonality that, hey, let's do that. Let's continue to do this. We're having fun. We're the best team. We're young. We have plenty of time to make plenty of money. It sounds altruistic, but it doesn't happen that way. Guys are going to leave. Guys are going to want their money. I understand it. Natural evolution here.